Actually, I've only had one conversation that was even sort of like that, where they were a little bit negative. And that is that she said, I don't want to live in a neighborhood where I'm just in farms. I wish that you would leave some houses. And I said to her, well, we're not the ones tearing down the houses. And we really have been trying to keep the neighborhood together too and keep people in their houses.
Side of Detroit. Been West Side my entire life. I represent now, ironically, what's called District 1 in the city of Detroit. So we're the far northwest side of the city, and ironically, even before there were districts, I have lived in what's now District 1 my entire life.
I can remember growing up on the east side in the city of Detroit, and I mean, we did things, our block, we used to paint the sidewalks, everybody cleaned up their yards on Saturday mornings, and it was what we did as a community, as a block, as a neighborhood.
I kind of grew up all over. I was born in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and then until I was 15 or so, I lived all over the country in different places, different states every couple of years. Ended up in Detroit when I was 15.
When we would roam around and just eat off, me and my brothers and sisters just eat blueberries off I thought everybody had got to do that, I found out later they didn't. But I realize now how lucky we were, how blessed we were to live in that kind of a place.
The ones that last and the ones that do all of the amazing work that they're meant to kind of grow as a natural extension of a community or a neighborhood coming together.
It transforms how land is used. Pretty much in urban areas you have a lawn, and if you have a garden, you change how you interact with your outdoor space. You're not just sitting in it all the time, but you're actually interacting and working with it directly. Urban agriculture can also be used in a way of beautification. So if you have a field full of weeds, that can become a field full of vegetables, or a field full of plants and flowers that are grown intentionally rather than abandoned and neglected.
Because if you put all the love into a garden and grow it, and then it's somebody else's lot or it's the city's lot, and then they sell it to somebody else, and there goes all your hard work. So that's a struggle.
You have people who come from whose family migrated from the South, and they say, that was something that we did when we had to do it. We don't have to do it anymore. Why are we going back to the country? We should be thinking this is a city. And in their minds, there's no way that you should be gardening, or in their mind, farming in the city. City, farm. I moved away from.
Land security is one thing, so having access to land, having legal holding to land, so not just being able to use it, but having it not just get taken away from you when somebody decides it's worth more than what you're using it for, which is really problematic.
We have to teach them first about gardening, agriculture, sustainability, because a lot of people are not aware of it.
The appeal of having a simple lifestyle and, eating locally and living locally, but it takes work to transition away from a system that isn't about doing that into kind of creating it for yourself. So all of the above.
Like, it's making a big difference. Instead of that abandoned house being right there, they're planting something positive.
That I manage, this is Brightmoor Youth Garden, so it's a market garden. This is its main site called the Alpha Garden, and then the greenhouse down the road, and there's another couple lots that we're growing on. But the idea is basically we've got 25 kids from the neighborhood between the ages of 11 and 18. They come here 2 times a week to harvest the vegetables, tend the garden, learn how to garden, and then they take the produce to market and sell it.
My name is Deshaun Lindsay, and these are mitten bites. There are no baked cookies or no. And we have 2 types. We have a dark chocolate peanut butter, and we also have a cranberry dates. Now, these are made by Detroit Food Academy.
The project was to engage young people in taking an idea to implementation through food. So we had a number of students who developed mangoes on a stick, so with some like chile and lime on top, and sold them in their cafeteria at lunchtime to their peers, and sold about 300 mangoes in 3 hours. And it became kind of clear, this is the exact group of young people that are often told, they don't like fruits and vegetables, they won't eat healthy food. And yet this is proving it wrong with an idea that students themselves came up with and brought to their peers.
I think it's also important because instead of buying food, you can make food and give it to people who really need it, who don't have the money for it, and it's you feel accomplished.
Our house now is a youth garden, and we've had as many as 20 kids come on a Saturday, which is great because also, the other youth garden in the neighborhood has about that many kids as well. And so when I think about that we have that many kids, 40 kids around the neighborhood have an opportunity to be a part of gardens, that's really an exciting thing.
Well, it gives me something to think about that I have to do the next day. If I have weeding or if I have to get some dirt, to fill in anywhere, transplant. If I have neighbors that want some pieces of plants, hostas, lilies, like these are beautiful buttercups.
I think there are some nonprofit organizations working here, but there's also families, extended families. There's civic groups, government, the police department. I mean, there's all kinds of people working in Brightmoor to make it a better community. I think the bottom line, though, is relationships building. I don't think it's really community organizing. I think it's community building through relationships.
When we set out to conduct this survey, we simply wanted to find out the general consensus regarding urban agriculture in Detroit. As we contemplated how we were going to present our findings, we agreed that we did not want to treat anyone as a mere data point on paper. We decided to film the interviews and acknowledge the people who graciously gave their time and opinions for the sake of our project. Overall, we found that a large number of residents support and practice urban agriculture or gardening in small-scale ways like flowers or vegetables in pots or small beds in their backyards. Many people were knowledgeable of the benefits of urban agriculture, but sometimes factors such as time, land ownership, health problems thwarted their efforts. Everyone knew of numerous positive ways urban agriculture has improved their neighborhood, even if they didn't actively garden. Some of the effects include interactions between neighbors, individual gardens starting up, youth engagement, economic ventures, and an overall increase in knowledge of food systems. Urban agriculture has made it possible for people to become aware of their capabilities and empower them to fight for food sovereignty and healthy lifestyles for themselves and their families.